What's all this business about Goldbach levels?
I'm going to break down ICT's latest trade and show you how he uses Goldbach, aka Enigma, to execute all of his strategies. The holy grail of every trading journey is to find that aha moment where suddenly everything clicks, where all those hours, hundreds of hours, thousands of hours of studying, poring over charts, reading, researching, taking mentorships, you're searching for that moment when suddenly it clicks. It's as if you become Neo and you can suddenly see the code of the Matrix again, and you no longer see agents or black cats and you're struggling to bend a spoon. Suddenly you see the underlying structure of the markets. Now, the goal of my YouTube channel is to accelerate your journey, to show you it's not as difficult as people like Michael have you believe, right? You don't necessarily need 3 to 5 years and watch every single one of his videos to have your personal aha moment, right? For me, that aha moment was Goldbach, and that's why I'm such a big proponent, and I publish so much evidence that the Goldbach system is what the markets are priced by. Now, I came across a few videos of Michael's over the weekend that prompted me to produce this video. So the first one here is on my Twitter, where he says something very interesting. So my job is to give you those ingredients. It's as simple as that. The trouble is with a lot of ICT trading is you see some of the ingredients, but your fair value gaps don't hold and your order block doesn't hold. There's something missing in the recipe. I don't want my Coke to look like his Pepsi. I want it to be the same thing. Right? That is what a mentor is supposed to do. So this channel is all about not only allowing you to drink the cola, it's allowing you to know the exact ingredients of the cola so you can produce your own cola instead of going and being a fan of Coca-Cola and Pepsi and buying it from the system. Now, I was pointed to this video from, I believe ICT produced this in 2021. The link I was sent was this one here. So it's not the original video. The original video must be on YouTube somewhere. But this video is from the 2021. Maybe it's actually from the 2021 private mentorship. And I'll show you some clips from that video.
In my own personal trading at the highest level, my algorithm, which I call Enigma, which I do not teach, has nothing to do with a chart. Zero to do with a chart. I don't even need a chart. Okay? But to teach things from an algorithmic principle-based approach to trading, the things that like order blocks, okay? I'm going to challenge you to describe in your best understanding what is my order block. And I want you to look at these two down closed candles here and see that little line? That's the opening price on this candle here. I said to my group on Friday of last week that if we trade down to that level here, the opening price, it's going to run up and go into here. Here we have the market trading down, hitting it. There you go, and it rallies. Where does it go? Where I said it was going to go. This is an order block before it happened for you. I'm actually going to show you something that you really aren't entitled to see. And I already know some of you are going to think, well, what's the big deal about that? But I'm actually going to demonstrate what IPTA is and what it's not, and the benefits of learning from me, because there's a distinction between what it is that I know that I'm not allowed to give you publicly, not even if you pay me, okay? And what language I created with order blocks and other things that I'm teaching. What benefit is it to learn from me if I'm unwilling to teach you the real secrets of interbank trading? Well, I created a language that protects me, and that's the reason why I've been able to do it for this long, it gets you very, very close to what I know that you're not supposed to know. Okay. What I'm actually showing you here, that's an imbalance between this candle's high and that candle's low. It's not a liquidity void. Okay. That's a fair value gap. Why is it a fair value gap? Because it's anchored to this order block. There's a distinct number of things that you have to have for a fair value gap to be a fair value gap. There has to be a specific list of things for an order block to be an order block. It's not a down close candle and an up close candle. There has to be something behind it. And that's what I'm asking you, Vinny, or anybody else out there. If you think you know what an order block is, because there's a lot of people on YouTube create an order block, and none of them have any idea what the hell they're talking about.
So, key points from that video. ICT knows what a real order block is and what a real fair value gap is, but he is not going to teach you that. He said there's a list of things. Now, he was very, very careful with how he spoke, and he really slowed down. There were some huge pauses. There's a list of things that defines what an order block and a fair value gap is, and he said he's not going to teach that. And he's challenging anybody on YouTube to describe what an order block and a fair value gap is. So, Michael, this is challenge accepted, and for free to YouTube, to my 10 subscribers, because I got a tiny channel, to my 10 subscribers, I'm going to teach you what a real order block and a real fair value gap is, because Michael will not teach you those things. However, Hoppy has. Via his book, Demystifying ICT, what every ICT trader still wants to know, he has broken it down in detail. Not only what a correct dealing range is, which is predefined by mathematics using Tesla vortex numbers. He also tells you where the PDA arrays will form in advance. So the difference between a legacy ICT trader and a Goldbach trader is legacy ICT traders look for existing order blocks and existing fair value gaps and hope that they firstly are real order blocks and real fair value gaps, because ICT says not every down close candle or up close candle is an order block. And he also says some gaps are fair value gaps, some gaps are liquidity voids. Doesn't teach you the difference. I'll teach you the difference right now. So the Goldbach trader is different from the legacy ICT trader because we know where those order blocks will form in the future. So we are not looking for existing order blocks or fair value gaps necessarily. We know where they will form. And that is defined by the Goldbach partitions. So that video, Michael was bragging that he knew that this down close candle on the daily was an order block and the corresponding imbalance was a fair value gap. And he said, if it holds, then price will go up to a certain level. Now, he didn't teach his students what an order block was or a fair value gap, but he's saying, look, I know, I'm bragging, I know, Michael knows, so today I'm going to teach you. Now, if you're someone who's followed my channel for a while, you should be understanding this by now. But there's a lot of people who have joined recently where I need to convince them, or at least provide evidence that Goldbach is real. Now, I have over 100 videos on my channel so far, and each video is evidence that Goldbach works. So it's not a fluke, it's not random. And there was a point in time where every time ICT took a trade on a futures asset, I produced a video and I was able to prove that trade via Goldbach. And some of those entries were pip perfect, tick perfect. Right, so without further ado, here's me explaining his Euro USD analysis using Goldbach and proving that I know what an order block is and what a fair value gap is, and it is not from ICT's teaching or lack of teaching, because he said he won't teach you. Okay, so this is his chart. Now again, you can go back to that original video. It's all time stamped and you can find the details of it. Okay, here it is, just so we are on the same path. Now, let's have a look. It's euro dollar on the daily. Euro dollar on the daily. The date is the 11th of October 2021. So 11th of October 2021. These are the down close candles. Here saying, ICT is saying, I knew this was going to be an order block, and I knew this was going to hold, this imbalance was going to hold, because I haven't taught anybody what these things are. He hasn't taught anybody what an order block or a fair value gap is. The challenge is to explain what it is. So here we go. Now, if you are new to Goldbach, I'm going to load up the indicator from first principles. The indicator is for free, right? The indicator is for free. DMN has produced it and it's for free. So if you would like to thank him, you can find his Twitter, and he has a link to buy me a coffee, and you can show your appreciation. So there we go. DMN's ICT AMD Goldbach indicator. Okay, so when it comes out of the box, it looks like this. Let's configure it so it works for our purposes. We don't need the AMD boxes. Let's put the dealing range box on the left. Let's put the labels in white. Okay, now a little bit of advanced Goldbach knowledge, and I've shared this a few times, so hopefully people are understanding the concept of the half shifts now. Okay, so for my new people who don't really understand Goldbach yet, given a price, the dealing range for a specific power of 3 has already been predetermined. So if price is anywhere between this number being 1.14 and this number 1.66, price is anywhere between there, the dealing range will be, the low will be here and the high will be here. And so, to demonstrate, once price breaks this range, the old high of the dealing range becomes the new low, and this is the high of the dealing range. Okay? Now, Goldbach defines via mathematics where the PD arrays will form. So it says the rejection block will form here, the order block will form here, the fair value gap, the liquidity void, breaker, mitigation block, EQ, and then we will reverse all the way to the bearish order block. There's an advanced concept called the half shift. If you would like to know more about the half shift, then buy the book and jump on Hoppy's Discord. I've got a couple of voice messages, long voice messages talking about half shifts and how you identify half shifts. Now let's half shift this. There we go. Now, let's think. ICT said not every down close candle is an order block. Right, so this was a down close candle. Why didn't it hold as an order block? Okay, that's the question. This was a down close candle. Why didn't it hold as an order block? Okay. This is the reason why. This is what an order block is. Bullish order block is a down close candle which forms in the order block Goldbach partition. Meaning, if there's a down close candle in any other place apart from where the order block Goldbach partition is defined, it is not an order block. Okay? Not only that, that down close candle has to have a decent amount of candle body in the order block GB level. So initially, ICT used to say an order block is a down close candle before an impulse. And then he started saying an order block is the n consecutive down close candles before the impulse. That's incorrect. An order block really is the consecutive down close candles where the bodies are within the order block GB level. Okay? Now, what is a fair value gap? Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to, sometimes your fair value gap doesn't hold because it's just really an imbalance. And sometimes your fair value gap is actually a liquidity void, which you may not understand yet because ICT hasn't really taught it. A fair value gap, a true fair value gap, is one in which the imbalance occurs in the fair value gap GB level. Okay, so this is your true fair value gap. There's your daily fair value gap. There is your order block. In ICT's long ramble, where he said there's a list of ingredients that need to be met in order for an order block to be an order block and a fair value gap to be a fair value gap, this is a big component of what he's not telling you. This is a big component of what he's not telling you. So someone asked me on Twitter, if I can see down close candles, it must be an order block. So what purpose is Goldbach? Why do I need to know about Goldbach? This is the reason, because not every down close candle or imbalance is an order block or a fair value gap. They have to form in the GB levels. Okay? Now, I don't think anybody on YouTube has put this information out there. Okay? It's all defined in Hoppy's book. Okay? It's all defined. Now, this is super basic entry level stuff. Super basic entry level stuff. Super basic when it comes to Goldbach. However, 99.9% of ICT traders have no idea about this. ICT has around 1 million followers on YouTube. Right? There are only just over 2,000 people on Hoppy's Discord, and that number's getting capped. So once we have 2,187 people who have bought the book with access to the Discord, the price of the book goes up to $243. So it's effectively closed. So I think there's less than 90 books to go now. And then the price goes up to $243. And that's a pretty high bar for people to get in. Now, I bought the book at $160 a year ago, and that was the best investment of my life. But anyway, only really the Goldbach traders know this, right? So there's like nearly 1 million ICT traders who have no idea about this, and that's why they're getting wrecked. So it was a simple teaching today, because I want to keep it simple and I want to keep it light. But this is the answer to Michael's challenge. So why doesn't everybody tag Michael, send him this video, and say, ICT, in 2021, you put out a challenge saying there's a list of ingredients that must be met in order for an order block and a fair value gap to be so. Aircam Trader has put out a YouTube video. Is he the closest person on YouTube to defining that? Because he's put the challenge out, so he has to answer the challenge. So let's have our man ICT, Michael, answer the challenge. Anyway, I hope you had an amazing Christmas. New Year is around the corner. Do not wait until January before you start working on your goals, right? It's okay to take Christmas Day off. It's Boxing Day today. Let's hit it hard, right? January is going to be a fantastic year for Goldbach traders because we had the source from Hoppy in 2023. 2024 is when we just take things to another level. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for your support. My channel is slowly growing. I have about 16 subscribers now, so I'm getting up there. If you would like me to produce any more videos or have any suggestions on content or have any questions, then drop a comment in the description below.